Yeah, bring the pot down. I haven't been. Yeah, it's just not very effective. Finance minutes. Where's you said it's on the phone? Yeah, if you go. Do you mind me to? Oh, it's only because I know I replied to it. It's right at the top. Fantastic. Thank you. What is that one? Isn't it that one? No, it's that one. Sorry. Stop it. I do screenshots because then I can switch between that and the.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, it does give you a glimpse sometimes of what's going on. Yeah, correct. Yes.
Hello, dear. That was a bit interesting. I managed to do a fish pie and banana flambe. And I said I would put some rum in it. He said I can find you some rum. So it's in there. Just do it. Bless you. I've got it. Yes,
That's all right. We won't spill it. How's that? Yeah.
oh, sorry, I've got paper agendas. Was anybody like it? I'd love a paper agenda. And I did print off the last full council. In case anybody didn't. I just took the agenda that I can go to. Just didn't. Okay, one.
Sorry, what?
Imagine that day. Would you eat it? Yes.
Sorry?
Right, welcome to this full council meeting. It's been a long time since the last one. So firstly, apologies for absence Wendy.
So I've got, 4 grand, and Roger's he's only 18. And solar chemical, there's apologies as well.
Right, item 2, declaration of interest, item 13, employee and markets.
Something, hang on, I'm trying to find what number it is, sorry.
Item 13.
We've got any enforcement rules today, so.
No, I think I'm all right.
Okay, okay. Item 3 is to receive the minutes of the last meeting, which was 29th of July, long time ago. People have had a chance to read that. I haven't got any comments myself.
Everybody read what you have something.
Any comments from anybody? No?
Sign is after a chat.
Yeah, so I propose we accept those then. All in second, all in favour?
If we weren't here, do you want us to abstain, Chair?
Yes.
Well, Robert and I'll abstain.
Right, item 4, matters arising from the last meeting, clerk report. So, Wendy?
So they said that we had to put plan application into the tree in the churchyard. That's now come back. So in October, November time, we'll arrange for that to be cut off over the. We had a letter, didn't we, come in from the resident in St Nicholas Court, so we'll just trim off her roof.
There's a tree preservation, we have to get permission on.
2 grants have been applied for in delegated authority. I did send round to you all an email. Lovely market grant for 5,000, and that is to get Christmas lights for outside down Market Street and maybe Manton Road, and perhaps some left over for the Christmas tree. However, people who donated the Christmas tree last year, who gave grant or donations for it, said that they're prepared to purchase some lights as well, because I'm going to go to a different supplier for the Christmas tree, which is a lot cheaper. And there is talk about putting a Christmas tree in the precinct as well, and they said that if we get a Christmas tree relatively cheap, they'd like to
So
do that one as well.
do
Yeah, I
tree
think one of the
preservation.
precinct may not be as big as the one in the churchyard, the one in the marketplace. But the lights from the marketplace that we have could go on the one in the precinct, and we could get new lights for the church,
Yeah.
for the marketplace. And then there's a town ambition programme that has to be ratified tonight in tonight's minutes to say that you will support the ongoing costs. But a company I'd like to recommend that we use is Coastal Meat, you know, paying that. In fact, Henry's one can go twice.
But we can cover that in the
Yeah.
item.
You agreed to do the sewage for the welfare unit, but having said that, I've spoken to some people and they don't think the road is adequate enough to put sewage in. There's a mesh on the roads or something, isn't there, that they can't.
Yeah, when that road into the new compound was built, it was built to float over all the tree roots. So it's got a shingle filled mesh sort of raft underneath. So you can't really dig through that to lay a sewer pipe. But what we've looked at instead is having a retention tank for the toilet in the welfare unit.
Yeah.
So the flush toilet that goes into a holding tank and gets emptied twice a year or something. So it's
Yes.
substantially cheaper.
An effluent tank, jack, legs and steps has cost 3,575 instead of 24,000 with the trees. Great savings, and this is all coming out of the cemetery earmarked reserve capital. And I've given a go ahead for that because I've ordered the welfare unit and not really was in 5 to 6 weeks. And I checked the plan to make sure that we don't need it, and they said that comes into the committee plan because it's something working, so I've done that. And also I'd just like to say about the trackside event that we had, not last weekend, the weekend before, it was a great success. We had well over 300 people attending, and everybody has asked for it to happen again next year. But on reflection, I will amend some of the timings, but probably there is a event programme that we've done, but we'll do it in some time during summer holidays and finish it at 7, because I felt that a lot of families went home and then nobody else came afterwards. So just people on Skate Park listening to the music and things. I'd like to thank my team for all that hard work in putting this event.
Is there a way we collect feedback on the events from both staff, councillors and people that attend them?
We did the music festival. I don't know whether Justin done anything for the trackside. We went round to everybody and spoke to them. They were really impressed with the graffiti hours that we had. I'd like them back again. We would spend more time. We was limited at the time to come, but to spend more time. So we thought we might do it sort of more during the day than in the evening.
No, yeah, I think it's all good. I was just thinking about a more formal way of evaluating it.
Well, we are in October. We are going to do a consultation, a public consultation, on what they want. And I've spoken to yourself today about engaging with, spoke to Paul Welsh today about engaging with the schools on what they would like, because they would like, I think Manor Road School would like to get more involved with the community. So I'm thinking about maybe going down there, you know, assembly or something, and just sort of saying, what would you like, especially with regards to the play parks and things and events. And we did send out posters to the schools, but I don't know how far they got. I know Plymouth went out to all pupils, Plymouth High School, I don't know what happened there. So I just want to engage with the head teacher for a meeting and just sort of say who I am and just engage with the schools a bit more. School event. But it was all free, and they loved it. And I gave away glue sticks at the end of the day, which only cost £10. But then
Yeah, I think it's really important that all our events are free, so that
Yeah.
anyone can come.
it turned out a little bit more than what I thought it was going to, because I inadvertently put rave on the poster. And we put rave on the poster and then police alarm bells. Police were police, and they got it. And then they said, oh, and then I happened to mention that somebody said to me, well, that's going to be drugs. So then we had to have security, we had to have back checks, because that is the sort of area that would entice drinking and drugs. And so we just had to make sure we were all
Make sure you're open,
correct, all protected and things. But yeah, it was good event. So it was nice to have it down there. And whether we look at putting more electricity in down there, because it, and whatever we do, but it was a lovely place to have an event. It's nice.
It's an area that gets ignored.
If it's more in the summer months, though, you'll have a lighter day.
Yeah, yeah. So we wouldn't need to be like we had to hire in floodlights and things for the food vendors down the bottom of the skate park. There was no lights. But yeah, it was good. Hopefully, if the events are done, I should put more in your diaries and you can come along and help. Because you may as well come along and just come along and see what we're doing. So we managed to do it. I mean, the security men helped us in the end, but take the barriers, all the barriers together and take the tents down. So that was good. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Item 5 is Mayor's announcements. So just to alert for the Remembrance Days events coming up in November. I'll be representing the town at the Royal Hospital on the 11th, and then on the preceding Sunday for the ceremony at the Memorial Park and the church.
Can you do that?
I suppose so.
I've just today had, or actually yesterday, our external auditors have to give us a certificate by the end of September. But they decided that they are going to extend themselves. So I've got a certificate saying that it's still under review. Today I had something from them to say that, I had to answer so many questions going backwards and forwards, but something to say about our risk assessments, and all risk assessments should be done in full council and not in committee. So I'm going to get myself a risk register together, and I think I'll be bringing a few policies to each meeting to get done so that the financial regs can be looked at by finance, but they need to be adopted by council and looked at in full by full council. So maybe that's what I'll do with risk assessments and all policies. And I'm going to get a register, so we just do 3 or 4 policies a month, rather than bring them all to May meeting where it's very difficult to look at them all in one meeting. It's quite a lot.
Too much.
Well, we won't be able to do the prop, which,
No, that's what I wanted to say.
exactly, there's no point doing it at all unless we go.
No, and I'll look at them in depth and then bring them back and my recommendations.
Okay. Item 6, public participation, district and county councils.
There's no song here, yeah, it's quite good.
No.
So I have sent the report out for, well, my last report out, highlighting the previous month. So I'm just trying to get the timing right for everybody to make sure that the news that we're getting isn't too old. But it will work across all parishes, so I hope you find it interesting to understand what's going on elsewhere in my division. And so it's quite important to let everybody know across the whole areas, whilst we're not connected, we really are with devolution and LGR, and it's really important that North Walsham as a town reaches out to the local smaller parishes to create that support network, because we don't know what that's going to look like. So hopefully me doing that is creating the olive branch for this town council to start reaching out to the parks in the areas, and hopefully as town councillors you'll be able to reach out to the smaller parishes. I think it's going to be quite a scary time for some people. So that's my personal ask. So I started that with the course thinking. Lots of information in there. The one thing that I did want to talk about today, and Claire and I had a street side conversation about it last week, is LGR. And I know that you're probably all a bit fed up about hearing going on about LGR and the intended doom that that's going to bring. But last week, both district and county met to formalise their positions on the reports they've submitted to government. So whilst it is very North Norfolk specific, and that's the view that I will give to you, the version that North Norfolk District Council submitted had the support of 6 other councils and MPs, and was multi-party in that regard, but also councils that voted in favour for it were cross-party as well, and that's councils from the whole political spectrum, which I think is really important, because it's been very, very rare that councillors in Norfolk can really agree on anything, because the political divisions come in, and on this I think it's hugely important. That said, in North Norfolk, the opposition group allocated vote, which I think for this instance was really, really important. So the North Norfolk proposal, which was for 3 unitaries, had support from both the Democrats and the Conservatives, so that's gone forward now to government. The information from that was published online and shared articles with Wendy, so that Wendy had a full view of what 3 unitaries would look like. Again, from my perspective, I don't understand what the problem is that government wants when unitarisation is the solution. It makes no sense to me, specifically in such a rural county like Norfolk, geographically we're massively spread out. However, when I looked at the 3 unitary proposal, it was really hard to argue that 3 unitaries isn't the best option, because it puts communities first, like I said previously. But when you read the report, or in all the appendices, it's quite a big document. You can see how the 3 unitary board is looking to go more into communities to do preventative work, rather than moving a lot of residents from it, which is what happens now until we hit a crisis point in the county setting. So that's really, really helpful. So the vote went through on Wednesday on that. It's been supported in all of the 6 councils with huge majorities. So that proposal was submitted on the same Friday. Central government now. I'm assuming we'll look at that in depth, including all the documents that we need to try and make a balanced decision. On Thursday, County Council met, that was a slightly more interesting situation. Activated for councillors 21 present, which I think for such a big vote was quite a shock to everybody in the room. And the opposition councillors, of course, party and the party voted against it, whereas the people who were supporting it were more political group, and I think there was like 6 votes in it, so it wasn't a huge majority, it was quite divided in the room. The atmosphere was quite tense as well, and we were reminded that Cabinet didn't have to bring it to full council because they've got every right to just decide this on their own, so it's a very different situation there. The full unitary, whilst on paper it suggests there's huge savings, there's a lot missing from it, and as Wendy and I discussed previously, there's a huge concern of what was going to mean the town and parish council should a single unitary come along, because in the county plan there's an open door on town and parish councils taking things like food hygiene inspections, and other things like this. Town council does quite a lot, and I've discussed the assets of district council and where we are with those, and you demonstrate to the town council your ability to verges and playgrounds and things like that. Buildings, obviously you demonstrated that, but when we look at what potentially the county are offering, it was far wider, and I think that disparity in ability is quite damaging. I'm not saying town and parish councils aren't really capable, but to then go out and employ people who are qualified to do food hygiene inspections, for example, is quite a big ask across the district and across the county in general. So just to put that on your radar, I know that will disappoint this really keen because she wants to know what's coming down the track, but for councils it's going to be really beneficial in case the government decide that one model is the best way forward, just to see what could potentially come your way. I'm not saying that it will do, but if it's on the table, it's on the table, and I think you have to consider where your money is going to be, not only as a town council, but for your council taxpayers when it comes to increase it. This is supposed to be a financial saving. The government is saying it's a financial saving. I don't think it is going to be for us as council taxpayers, so just something to be aware of in that regard. So hopefully in the next month or so, the government will do a consultation. So there's a single unitary, 2 unitary model, which South Norfolk proposed, and 3 unitary model. I'm hoping that that consultation is really widely publicised, that everybody in Norfolk can have a say on what their preference is. I don't know whether or not that will be a digital or whether they'll write to everybody. Who knows? We don't know at what point after the consultation they'll make their formal decision. We don't really have a set timeline. We know they change their minds regularly and often. So we're not quite sure, because it's really hard to offer any assurances there on when we'll find out for definite. The other point of that is that we don't know at what point they will say to the district council and the county council involved anything that is in the budget now can't be adjusted for. So we don't know at what point they make the rules on spend or asset disposal or capital investment. We don't know at what point that's coming. I feel it will be at the point we know what the interest on the table. So as ever, it's a movable situation when it comes to where we are with that. But I will pass on information as and when I absolutely can. Overall, aside from what's in my report, there have been some more highways improvements. I noticed that Crane Road was finally closed to put gas in that property there, and it's patiently waiting for the monitoring works for it to happen. The only other part that I wanted to highlight is that where there have been some improvements in highways activity, I've seen a really quick slowdown. So the works have slowed down in the reporting, and I'm seeing quite a few white lines fading on the roads as well. So I did request that councillors join me on my public walk, so that we can tag team this together. So I'm just looking to you guys to come and support me doing that because we need to get everything in as soon as possible because as we've got LGR coming, I don't think we're going to get as much movement with the slightly nicer flats. I think they're just going to be stuck in the critical like there's any active so Wendy's kind of offered to print me out a parish map.
Yeah.
So that we can highlight all the roads as we go, and there's kind of offered to kind of document what we do so that we can highlight what public work looks like, but how we can potentially support the town, I guess, in having everybody take a bit of responsibility for the areas that we live in, so everyone knows what's reportable, rather than not knowing what we can.
Can I go as well? Can I contribute to each ward?
Yeah. And of course, that's on.
This was discussed 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Why was the date not done? Because it's recess. Yes, that was in July.
It's recess all of August, and I've been on holiday, so we will do it, yeah. So that's,
And I'd like to see as many councillors as possible there as well. I want to see the feet on the ground.
Okay, last topic that I have, point strength.
so that's where we are with that. So obviously I've spoken enough. We've got, Mark's probably going to update us on things. And.
I'm sick of it, believe you me.
But these reports we do.
Can I speak? Sorry, can I say something, Rob? I had an email come in today
Yes.
at 25 from Highways.
Yes.
I'll just read it out because I don't know what we're going to do about it. I'm contacting you regarding some upcoming works on Market Street, North Walsham. The works will occur over 2 Sundays, 16th November and 23rd November, from 8 in the morning until 6 at night, to allow UK Power Networks to undertake a new electrical connection. Access on Market Street will be maintained at all times, but the suspension of the taxi bays will require suspension, so they're going to stop the taxi bays. Please can you let me know any comments or concerns you may have regarding the taxi bays being suspended, so we can ensure these works as smooth as possible with minimal disruption.
Can we request that a temporary taxiway is put in lanes?
Yeah.
Last time they put a temporary taxiway on Church Street. It wasn't ideal, but
We have them over here as well, because obviously it's a Sunday, isn't it?
I'm not sure we get any taxis in, taxi bays and something.
but we can ask that a temporary taxiway is put on Church Street because obviously we have a lot of shoppers who rely on getting taxis and to get taxis home to things. So apart from that, I just want to make sure that it's very widely publicised that Market Street is open for business.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll put something.
Yeah, this is Sundays, though.
I don't, it's being getting close to Christmas, businesses will be open
True.
on Sunday, so if we can get signs from highways, if you can put that up as well, to show that businesses are open on Market Street. Bringing up businesses that can do it during that time.
So to ask to have an email, then dates with that shops actually now.
Yeah, one would hope that highways would.
I will email the shop holders. I'm just going to see the shop holders.
Yeah.
Businesses, yeah.
Now,
And
That's another question. Well, it's sideways bit on highways. Water leaks. I get fed up with seeing them when I'm swimming around with the board with them. We probably haven't got all this yet.
No, so the issue there is they don't collect enough information about stuff and reports, don't. So with the accountability that we have is quite limited because they generally can't tell us how much water is wasted in terms of cost to the ratepayer. So we had some bittersweet success on what's the road called? What road is going? Off Station Road.
Oak Road?
Huh? No,
Oak Road.
Oak Road. We had some success on Oak Road, Cromer Road came with some success, but we've seen a bit of road degradation. And then there was one further up Cromer Road, just towards the end, where it was lovely, lovely looking street. Generally what tends to happen is they tend to come out, put a little planner down saying we've seen it, we know there's a problem, and then there's a slight delay in coming to fix it. All we need to do is make sure once it's reporting and let people know what they have to report. So we had some success in just off the marketplace where somebody had reported a water leak because it was trickling out into the road. They came out and the water came out to assess it, realised it was on private land, put some paperwork through to let the property owners know what to do, and that was resolved in 14 hours. But it's just about making sure that people know when there's a leak, not just to walk past it, because not everybody reports it. So that's anything with the water at the moment, as you see coming up, tends to look a little, almost like bubbles in the road, and you'll see one kind of water just coming up, and then you'll see it creeps, and we just need to make sure everyone reports it. If there's anything that you've seen that hasn't been reported, or that you know is taking a lot of time, just let me know, because we're trying to gather some information, and obviously one that's spoken to them, they've been through the committee as you did, about what happened unfortunately. So the more information we can gather, the more we can go back to them about it.
Sorry. Okay, right, good evening, Lucy.
Hello.
We have fleeted through an awful lot of information, particularly what is very current. Number one, I would like to recommend to the chair that as a town council we note and think about the liaison with the other parishes, because that's going to be very important. Secondly, what of course, whether we like it or not, is going to happen is that we're going to end up with a two-tier system of unitaries and parishes. The great concern to all local people is that the services that are provided across the three-tier system at the moment still get provided and delivered to us through the two-tier system. And that's going to be very difficult. So therefore, we need to make sure that we've done our homework to make sure that as parishes, we know as much as we possibly can to be able to steer and help with what can only be a turbulent time. Now I'd like to ask, if we're going down the three unitary status, how many in the population, so what is the divisions on that? How many thousand will be in each of the three unitary segments?
So, off the top of my head, I think the east is slightly larger.
Yes.
My brain isn't recalling, I think it's slightly closer to the, I won't say it's slightly closer to 400,000 than it is 350,000. I think it's about 375.
Okay, so that's 370 years.
So there's about an equal division.
It only used to be it.
No, so it's about an equal division.
Yeah.
That said, obviously we've got lots of growth coming, so that will skew division overall. And the three model is suggesting, when you break that down to county divisions or unitary divisions,
Yeah.
that they would go off the new boundaries that were agreed from the Electoral Commission for the county council divisions, and that each county council division would have 2 representatives. So North Walsham at the moment shares councillors with the surrounding parishes, so you would get 4 unitary councillors.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Before we get into the division,
Yeah.
you're not answering the question as maybe I didn't make myself very clear. What I'm wanting to learn is if it's going to be 3 unitaries,
Yeah.
how many would be in each of the communities of the 3 divisions? So it will be something like 300,000
So it's between 350 and 400,000
in each of them.
in each of them.
So
there's-
how much is how many people is there of the population that the whole is? Is it 1 million, 1.1?
So it's just short of 9, it's just short of 1 million, I think it's 900.
Okay.
980,000 or something like
Okay,
that.
right. So the ideal, which you will know, is about 500,000 for each one.
Yes.
So
marvellous.
therefore, the idea of a three-tier unitary system is not very probable anyway.
So the difficulty you've got with them is you're talking about scale. So if you look at Norfolk as a whole, that's about 20 Birminghams. So the geographical spread of Norfolk is not taken into account in the unitary model. They're looking at metropolitan boroughs, and that's where they're looking at where that's going to be beneficial. So when you look at 500,000 split, yes, you could do that. You would either have to carve the city up, or you'd have to make Greater Norwich with a huge boundary and create a rural, more difficult to manage area on the way round. The other difficulty you're going to have with that is where you would have a mayor, city of Norfolk and Suffolk, you're only going to have 4 members. And that creates a different issue there. I think the 500 model, I think there's only 2 or 3 councils that sit within that. There isn't a council that is a one unitary model of 1 million people. That isn't there overall.
Okay. So
Another thing that they've asked as well is that the amount of councillors is limited. So they want you to have, so if you had your 500 model, the amount of councillors they want in the unitary would be vastly reduced as well.
yeah, I was trying to get a definitive for other councillors is to learn the probabilities of whether we're likely to end up with a with a 3 unitary system or a 2, because you know that is part of the consideration.
Oh, completely. So the government are encouraging about 3, taking into account the rurality and the democratic deficit. The 3 model figures work with other sizes of unitaries. So we're not doing something which is so completely different that would mean that we're looking the trend on what unitaries look like at 500,000 unitaries is not the norm.
Okay.
If I can add to that, Chair, I've got experience in unitaries. I've worked for one for 12 years. Now, if we look at the numbers, so a Greater Norwich on its own would be bigger than Southampton or Portsmouth, but some margin for Portsmouth. So the sizes are actually in the mid-range for unitaries. And the whole county together is impossible. The population is way above a very large land area, say North Yorkshire, but the population in North Yorkshire is lower.
I think the relevance, if I may say, Joe, is because when we get to consultation, this is what us, Joe Public, have got to try and understand, and it isn't very easy. So that's why I welcome the chair allowing me to speak this evening on that one. I should be interested as one town council, I'm sure others will be as well. I'm absolutely appalled that the county decision, having previous experience of being a county councillor, how on earth that you have 20 odd councillors that are absent at such an important meeting like this. I should be wanting to be knowing who they are, politically who they are, because I think for the election next time round, it needs to be something that I would like to be able to tell my ward of people if they ask me what the situation is.
Why after a recorded vote?
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much.
So
for
the
that.
county of apologies are recorded and we got to see the votes as they came in.
Right.
Which is why
Could we have that forwarded to us?
as soon as the minutes are sorted out, yeah, of
That
course.
would be lovely if you had that through,
Yeah.
Wendy. That would be really great to us to be able to see. But
You raised the point, Robert, about liaising with surrounding parishes, which Wendy mentioned as well. And I might get in the first instance to email or WhatsApp or something to form a larger group,
yeah.
just to get to know each other, and then at some point probably get together to.
It's so difficult. It's for a lot of people. I mean, I know something about it. You might think it's scrambled eggs still. But the thing about it is that, you know, some of us remember 1974, the reorganisation then, and the difficulties that that caused. And we are going to have some difficulties that will be similar. And the better our homework is done to look after North Walsham primarily, and then to look after our area of Norfolk.
Would you like North Walsham to lead on that? Then would you like me
Well, I think so,
to reach
for
out to?
We're the biggest
This was suggested by Liz.
I'm happy to facilitate that with you, Wendy.
Yeah.
I'll make the introduction.
So we can meet in here, have a meeting there.
First of all, East and Norfolk.
I know, like, I've known quite a few of the class anyway. but-
Yeah, as I said before, I have some concern that if any form of unitary starts trying to devolve down functions, we're going to end up with a situation of parishes grouped together and reinvented rural district councils, and district councils.
Yeah, under any other name.
Yeah.
Not paid.
That risk.
Everything goes around in a circle.
I've
Anyway,
just-
we've covered that.
I've just got two other small points. Of course, at the end of the day, the ultimate decision will be made by the Secretary of State when we get there. That will be who stamps it. And the other thing I picked up on, which just has a simile with our own finances, is of course the budget.
Yes.
And we need to be able, we need to understand the criteria of capital budgets and revenue budgets.
Yeah.
And, you know, that is not always terribly easy.
So the difficulty we've got there is when you look at the three model, that's not a difficulty at all. They're all formed in the remit of what government thinks are going to be acceptable. One has a slight deficit, the rest, including these, have got a slight surplus. That's going with what we know right now. So what we don't know is what government funding is going to be. And they pull the rug at any moment. We're very excited to move into Christmas as to whether or not we can pull the rug at Christmas, where we all think financially it's very important. The concern with that is when we look at the county council's debt profile, we're not far from £1 billion there. That will be distributed amongst the unitaries. Whether or not money was spent in that area, it will be distributed. And for me, as a finance portfolio holder where we have, you know, large debts, that is a concern going forward because you're already starting like that. The other concern that we need to have with the budget is where the harmonisation of council tax. So if you're in a lower council tax area, you merge with the council where they're banded slightly higher. Over time, everybody's going to be risen to pay for the same level, to pay the same level of council tax, and that's a huge concern too. We don't know what the government's going to do to help us. Basically, they said, here's what we want you to do. You need to pay for it to be done. Then once it's done, you need to pay for all the transition costs, and then you need to save money on top of it. That's what the government directive is at the moment. I'm concerned for our vulnerable residents. That's what I'm really concerned for, and I'm concerned for people who rely on knowing who's giving them service going forward. That's my concern.
Okay, so I've got two closing comments. One of them, of course, will be in those divisions who gets any family silver, i.e. any assets which will help their particular unitary, and that will be disproportionate. That'll just be the way it actually transpires and ends up. And of course, the other thing is you mentioned the word debt. What we know very recently, because I have to say news-wise, the public are getting to know much better politically about the country's finances. And £1 in every 12 goes in interest, as we all know in this room. So what we will be able to find out is how much we will be indebted by interest with whatever happens. And of course, that will go into the melting pot as well. The whole thing is really very serious. It affects us all. It's not terribly flavoursome. Some of it is also not terribly interesting, but we, for our part, since we will be one of the largest parish, shall we? Yeah. So, you know, North Norfolk. So we are going to have our homework put out as well. Thank you very much, Jane.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, changing the subject. In your report, you talk about documentation on recycling centres.
Yes.
And the centres process 69,000 tonnes of household waste. Is it possible to know, and for this council to be informed, that since they closed the local recycling centre on Wednesday, and since they had the booking system, how many tonnes of waste were going through there in 12 months?
Marvellous question. I'll ask that cabinet when I next get to ask the question.
Because
Good on you, I was thinking about that this morning when I was mowing the lawn.
my suspicion is that the tonnage going through there is a lot less.
Yeah.
You then have to ask the question where it's going. And also, if less people are using it, the next thing is closure.
Yeah, so I was very, very lucky to have been there a couple of Sundays ago. And as much as many people won't be excited, a trip to the tip always reminds me of childhood, so it was quite enjoyable to feel small amongst all the things. And do you know what? It was so busy that you get 15 minutes for it if you not use the booking system. And the staff are incredibly helpful, and they're really, really good at directing you if you go in the wrong. You know, the team's fantastic and they clearly enjoy what they're doing, but the amount of people who queue in because they booked an appointment in a line that had either arrived early or people in there were taking their time enjoying their recycling was causing a little bit of an issue. It's not really big enough or safe enough for people to manoeuvre a vehicle if it's quite busy. So it could be, Eric, that what we're finding is the Wednesday closure is pushing people to other days and they're just going to use that. Many people who would have seen that on Sunday potentially would go on Sunday afternoon again because it was lovely days. So I think there's something about numbers, the waste, and then we need to understand what the threshold is for closure because we're going to need an early warning when they feel like we've hit that. Again, the hazardous waste days haven't run to Norfolk.
No, noticed that.
And that's something that we've asked for before, and that's because we don't have a big enough site, and they're sticking that to the bigger places in the same way that the reclaim situation locally, they don't have a reclaim centre as part of their facility, whereas other places have the reusable, you know, where you can go, it's a bit like a charity shop situation. So there's much to do in expanding North Washington, we're going to be growing into a bigger town. So I can answer questions, of course, so we can see what.
I think it would be, I mean, I went there last week, not this week, last week, on a weekday, it was patchy. And when you were looking for a slot, the slots were out there, nothing booked up. You know, if it is busy, I think that's great. But my fear is that it's a lot more patchy than it was certainly well down in the system started because the personnel down there said so.
It's because people are having to book.
I mean, I do understand in major urban areas where these things are very busy, that booking is the only way you can actually affordably do this. But that local recycling centre, apart from the old queue, most of the time you can go in or just wait for a very short time and you go.
Well, hopefully that's what the feeling will come out of the survey that's been going on.
So while you've raised it, I will send a message now, so we can start our process. I'll get some information back for the next one.
So, okay.
As a point of interest, in Lincolnshire and the town that I represented there, they had the booking system introduced. And eventually the booking system was abolished and we went back to without appointment, which I think is a very interesting point.
So we did that, we had a booking system during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Which I think most places did, and then we didn't have one for a while. And then they brought it in, and then they're using that to decide which days they close to save money. Well, it isn't going to save money in the long run apart from people's time in there. That's the only money you're going to save, because you have the same amount of waste to process. So I don't know, but I will ask the question as I sit here so that we get a
Sure.
confidence.
Point of interest,
it would be interesting to know how much more is going into black bins because people cannot get to them.
As if the county council would think about the impact on the district.
I know.
Yeah.
Just a point of interest on
Yeah.
that.
I can ask whether or not we've seen an increase in.
Yes, it would be interesting to know that.
Mel, is there anything you want to say?
Do you know what? After all of that, the amount of time it's taken up, and I appreciate LGR and so it's incredibly important. And you'll be having more conversations about that, I have no doubt. Although at the moment it's sort of rather speculative, isn't it, in the air? Supporting local residents as always, trying to encourage highways to come out and deal with some of the issues we have on the high street, the stones, not having been staying where they should, the usual bin shenanigans taking place, which is nothing new, although we do have to replace them now, the 1100 bins. It's been a bit backwards and forwards, I think, to be fair, so a rather protracted time with cleansing to get them to understand the nature of the problem and why it wouldn't be acceptable anywhere else, so it's not acceptable here either. It seems like it's a stopgap. At the moment, we're waiting for the scaffolding, obviously, to be removed. The town council to continue their plan there, those two bins. And then the other day, when I noticed that the recycle had been crammed full of an excessive amount of all sorts of waste, it seems to be managed a lot better currently, despite me being informed that there was no way for those two bins would be able to service the properties there. I would argue that it actually seems to have done quite a good job. So it's just waiting on movement from there. There's been some issues with the bins in the town centre being not managed correctly due to our actual cleansing, street cleaning operative being on holiday, and so not being aware that he's on holiday, even though I'm very confident that it authorises holiday. However, that has been raised, it has been dealt with, I am keeping an eye on it. Unless anyone has any burning questions, I feel like we've probably spent enough time.
I have one, and that is, is it departmentalised into each district area having a highways manager that you have to assist you?
So we have Justin May, and I think Justin, I won't say looks after 8 parishes, with a team of about 3. And he does a lot with not very many people and not very much time. Now, we're supposed to have a highways ranger, and I have invited him to Northwich multiple times, so I was hoping I might reduce my workload a little bit.
I have had an email from Highway Rangers saying,
You will have had with a lovely leaflet. And you contact the highways rangers via the same email. I have double checked that. Now, the last time I
you
saw
have to register, I presume we are registered with the Highway
the
Rangers.
last time I saw our highways ranger would have been in 2022. And I actually saw them, and we got a fix done on Backton Road, Vicarage Street-ish bit, but it took 18 months. So I'm not entirely sure how visible, but if they've got the same amount of touch to cover, as Justin's team, that's ridiculous, you can't do that at all. So again, referring back to the public realm walks, as much as I would like to say that we're paying council tax for officers to come and do this for us, it's going to take so much time, and I am generally very impatient and all portions deserve better. So unless we're going to brute force this and get it as reported so that we can have as much money spent as possible on improvements, we're going to be waiting for the highways.
In the office, we report a lot more now as well.
I know, I thought that's interesting.
Wait till you read
Chair,
that, to manage your expectations.
There's a very important point here, and that is that we are the ears of what goes on around North Walsham. You don't even need to say that in this room. However, we have a clerk and an assistant clerk who try to correlate and look after lots of problems and whatever. And my experience in the past is just that if we get them locked into a system, then somewhere along the line, that system is then accountable through you good district and county councillors as to the delivery of getting some of these things done. And that to me is the only way. And if we haven't had anybody heard of for quite some considerable time, then it's high time that we were publicly actually saying something about that, to actually say we want better than what's actually happening. And that wants to be outside of this room. That wants to be for the people of North Walsham.
So we have had, Justin the Mayor's been in town recently, I've had one Windsor Road, looking at things, that's our highways engineer. He's he knows a lot, we're very, very lucky, and I'm really sad when he retires, and because he's got a lot of knowledge that he will take with him, as you know, officers in local government, when they don't hold their brains.
Sometimes it's kid gloves, I understand that.
He's really, really fantastic.
He doesn't reply all the time.
He's really, really good, and bless him, he's a highways engineer, but he's not an assistant to manage that, he replies to all their emails as well. And I send him a lot of emails, so, you know, fantastic for what he does. The system that I report on is the same system that every single person in this room can use too. I don't get a special access system.
Fix my street.
No, if you go onto the county council website, you can report directly. The Fix My Street works because you can see everything that's going on, but the difficulty with that is then you're relying on that to be translated into whatever else is being used. I've just seen Home an issue where they were reporting a tyre for the last 6 months that was flighted. I'm reported by the correct channel has been dealt with in a week. So there's just a slight delay in how things come through. So if you go on the county council's website, you will get an email back when they've been out to inspect. They'll give you a note in that email about what they're intending to do, and you can also log onto the system to see all the reports that you've made, what's pending and what's been completed. So it's an open system. They changed it, where you couldn't log in for about 8 months, so you can't see your history. I think from May this year, they've changed it. The only other benefit that I've got is that I can see a map within my division on everything that has been reported, so I can see the whole picture, whereas when you report, you can see what has been reported within your account, or whether or not you can look at the map, you can see what you're about to report has already been reported to. And the only thing that I get is I can see the future scope of works or where we have accidents in the town, and I get access to the map there. So when we have the issue that we have a number of accidents outside the front here, and I wanted to get speed improvements on new roads, especially when people come around the corner, I did get pushback on that when I put in a bid for a fund, because the level of accident hadn't warranted the financial investment that I wanted them to make. So whilst I can push as much as I can do, the councillors sitting in this room, the general public who live in this town, they are all people who can do more and just as much with the same system that I'm given. I can sit and rush officers all day long with accounts hold, but it's not going to get us what we want.
You're saying you're not our secretary, that's what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not
Okay.
saying that report it.
Advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
Shifting the power from you councillors, that's
From
not
the
really
council,
written, to the people.
Yeah.
And for the people. Here is the website.
We need to move on.
Yeah.
Members of the public,
I just want to quick update on the plan on
sorry.
All the consultation period is finished. It seems that virtually all the responses related to 3 sites, Ludham, Cromer and our very own NW16. The inspector is now going through these. The word on the street is that he'll make a few minor wording changes, and that is likely to be it. There is no prospect of NW16 disappearing from the local plan. Once the last bits have been signed off, it will go to full council, probably to the December meeting, and be ratified at that point, and will be in place from January. Not that I expect NW16 to be early on.
No, it's an expensive site.
Probably, yes, could be a very expensive size.
You had your hand up earlier, did you want to say something?
Who's in charge of the recycle bins that are in the car park on New Road, Sainsbury's? Because they were a good help to the public in the town.
Yeah, well, Well, the Sainsbury's funds belong to Sainsbury's, and they've taken most of them away, I think, haven't they?
take them all back.
Yeah. I'm not sure who was in your own car park.
I think it might be quite beneficial for the town council, and I will be investigating it, to have more recycling bins, because we get money back for that, so that's an income that we can have. Because at the moment, they're all done by North Norfolk District Council, so I think we should, when I worked for councils, I used to do, when I worked before, I used to have recycling bins, and I used to get a lot of money, and then that money was then given out back to the community.
Yeah, 'cause I use bulk bags and that.
What banks, yeah, I think we should look into getting things like that.
I have had a request for a bottle bank.
Have you?
This week.
Would you let me have it? Because I think we could.
A member of the public approached me to ask me. So the Scouts have got their cardboard recycling, which they use for income. But I think 2 or 3 residents this week, maybe last week, it might have been was it the week before? I don't know. Had approached asking for plans, because when we have large get-togethers as people, we tend to have a little bit more waste. They would like to go in our recycling bin, and they would like to be able to do something to give back.
Because I think they're quite cheap to empty, but you get £65, roughly about £65 a tonne back from county.
That's good.
For that, and that was money that could come in as income and then passed on. I'll look into it.
Yeah, right, moving on, we've got lots to do.
Sorry, I just wanted to introduce a new business association to start up in town. Who would like to look? Anyone interested? I'll have a look.
Perhaps you could explain it.
The business association, we've got 45 businesses within a month. We've got a WhatsApp group full of all committee members, communication of what's happening within town and business, because there is a complete divide between you councillors and businesses, because you want to help businesses, but yet you want to help the town, and businesses are going to go under the review tree in the next 8 years if we don't actually support them. So this is a way forward where we can support the businesses, support the town, support the residents of the town, as well as other charities. It's going to be huge. So I would like you all to take time to look at what we are already probably starting. Because we've got a long stretch to go. We will come to you for grants to help us within the town, to help the residents. It is completely separate from the businesses, so you haven't got panic that you are going to be helping the businesses in the centre with their grants. It's bringing the community together, and hopefully, with all this unitary work and talk, if you look on the actual county council website on YouTube, you can watch all of these meetings happening to understand what's going on. And one of the big things is, because unitary is probably going to take the next 8 years, and we need to keep our high street through this all, because without our high street, there's not going to be much left for North Horsham, and people are realising this. We need to inject a bit of enthusiasm back into the town, so then we can get more footfall through. So that's the North Horsham business.
I am working with this group. You want to advise and sort of help, but with our grant that we've been given and our website for businesses and events, having one board for the website.
That's true, but we don't want to get lost within the council, because you have a different agenda to handle town rights. This is from the business community
agree with that.
to make sure that, out of all that's been discussed within Unitary, they are wanting skilled people locally, and we are trying to bring that together to work with the council, really.
Yeah, and that is my vision as well. That is my vision as well, and we are a different council now to what we were
The
before.
businesses.
Yeah.
That's it.
Great, thank you. We'll have a look at that as it comes round, and obviously,
Could I just remind the lady that was through the chair that when we brought this up last time about having this business email, this hub that we were going to do, we were absolutely adamant, all of us, that it would be disparatory amongst everybody. It was going to be a service that the town council wished to promote right across. There's no agendas in any way, shape or form.
it's a providing a portal for business.
Exactly.
Business can promote their wares
Yes.
and events. Anyway, we'll be working together on that at least anyway. And thank you for that, Claire. That's
Very well
great.
put together, Claire.
Thank you. Finance then. 7.1, approved expenditure since the last meeting. Was in the pack, I think, wasn't it?
So I'll just, we've spent a lot, thank you.
Right.
We have, my event that I don't tax, I did go over what I'd expected it to go over, but that was due to, the things that had to be put in place, that the police insisted I put in place, so I spent a little bit there. However, I've told you before that I found quite a bit of money. I found doing contracts that were never cancelled, and I'm saying I'm not paying for them, so it's like £9,000 that I found in being contracts. So since I've, I found not a lot of money that cancelled, so so I just think the town deserves to have good events. And the budget I put in next time for events will be a good budget. But there's nothing untoward. The main things are the events.
Propose that we approve those expenditures if one would like to.
I'll second it.
Cheryl,
Oh.
All in favour? Thank you.
Who seconded it yet?
The bank reconciliation was in the pack, that's just for information, isn't it? But,
Yeah.
please consider balances as always.
Yeah, and just to let you know that today we had our second part of our police that come in, 215,000, so that is paid half, precept is paid in 2 parts. So that's the second part of that. So now that's in, I can then put that into the account system and I can forecast and so I can on the budget for this year.
7.3 is summary of receipts and payments in the pack.
That's just for information that goes to the finance committee as well. So
Just to receive it. 7.4 minutes from finance committee and agree recommendations. So,
they were sent out tonight. They were sent out tonight.
okay.
I just thought I'd include them because they never come, sometimes they come to full council. So I did type the one for the 15th of September, I typed that up late, just before the meeting.
What were the recommendations?
There was no recommendations because we were just doing budgets and things we didn't actually agree anything. Well, the only thing we did agree to was the reserve statement to see proposed to amend the vehicle reserve to 10,000 and then cemetery reserve to 20,000.
Right.
And put in the contingency reserve of 120,000.
Chair, can I just comment at this juncture in the financial year, we are beginning to put together next year's budgets. It is very important that each councillor, if they've got any aspirations that come through their ward or people make any suggestions, that it is for the next meeting that we really need to know of these to be able to consider. Because it's a great responsibility in setting the budget. It's a great responsibility in working out whether taxation should rise or whether it shouldn't. We're all grown up and know that we can't attack capital reserves for incidentals. We have listened to the turbulence of some of the finance of the past. It would be a very prudent time to poignantly work out that and say thank you to Wendy. She tells us about many savings and many rationales that are actually happening in there. But coming back full circle is for the next time we need to learn from any of us that have got anything that is either a revenue or a capital request that we need to look at for next year and
the budgets that you want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, we did discuss that at last finance
Yeah,
meeting.
we did.
About cycle of getting.
I will be
ideas
looking
projects in.
at budgets and getting a draft budget together in October to bring to full council for November, to be confirmed for December.
Rob said, obviously, anyone with ideas, anyone can. put
Here's
an
the
idea in.
opportunity. It's no good coming back to us after we've said it and then complaining, because that's what sometimes happens and it doesn't help.
Well, some of the things that come out of DNA, which is the primary source of expensive projects normally, isn't it? Yes.
Just reading them, I think.
Sorry, I just
Sorry.
found
I only typed the last one for 15th September
this
tonight.
one, so, no, that's fine. It was mainly about
The reserves.
streamlining the reserves.
Yeah, and is it okay?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, because it was all over the place, what we're getting to is to have a reserve, which is actually realistic in terms of what's got the earmark, rather than just something.
What it's got to make, that's the,
Yeah, rather than just something where it's sitting there that's never gets used.
So can we agree the recommendations that
Yeah.
was put
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
for both of the minutes, yeah? Because I did include
Yeah,
the,
I've looked at the July minutes, sorry.
yeah.
You propose
July
that,
ones.
Eric, you proposing that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll second that. All in favour? Thank you. 8, correspondence. We have a letter from electric vehicle infrastructure from County. I think he was seeking ideas for more charging points. I know when district put in points in Bank Close, they were struggling to find a suitable location and a suitable power supply, so we can't stick them anywhere. The original idea was Central's car park, but they wasn't enough power. So,
that's the usual problem. It's where we want to lose the power to put on.
I'm not sure to what degree they're used. You often see things plugged in.
I tend to go to town almost every day and I cut through there. I don't think I've ever seen all of them bays in use, but I have seen all of the car parks, especially on the Thursday market. The whole of the car parks are absolutely full, and like myself, I'm driving around and leaving because there's nowhere to park. I might occasionally go to Lidl's car park, but you can't actually park in a car park because they're full, and you've got them bays sat there empty. So if it's a case of giving up more car parking spaces for the EV charging points, actually, are we gaining anything?
I think we had anywhere to be somewhere industrial estate or somewhere.
Yeah.
Like
I just think to lose parking spaces in towns, car parks, which we need.
So it's certainly annoying. I've seen one or the normal car charging there, which is in the middle of the holidays. Logic like that.
I've never
The
seen.
other one has been Serco.
Yeah.
Especially on a Sunday morning, reading his newspaper while he's
So are they asking us for recommendations or?
They want us to go over our trials as well.
District couldn't find any other sites, that's why we ended up.
on Waitrose took theirs out, didn't they? Because people weren't using it.
That's, they could be on the Hornby car park up there.
No electricity up there at all. Right, that's why it's paid by Apple permits.
But anyway, it was just for you to email if that's there, but.
Okay, now, 8.2, Clark's decisions, you already mentioned those in your report.
Yeah.
Item 9 is responses to planning applications. I don't think we've had any this month, have we?
No, I did respond to some in recess, they weren't really little tiny things, if there was anything major, to let you know. But I did put a response in, because I delegated authority to the local planning for, and council, Eric done it. Just-
So that was
So it's on.
repeating our concerns about the Muncie Road development.
I mean, it's going to be interesting. It won't change the allocation, but it will be interesting whether they type the language a bit on the use of roads around the site, and that they put in the roundabout and the bridge at the first stage of the development, slightly clearer what the inspector says, that would be helpful, very helpful.
Chair, if I may say, it's two things. One of them is the interconnectivity with the road infrastructure, and the other one, which I've experienced of where it has not happened, is that there's a connectivity of footpaths. Because once you've got residents there and there is a footpath and there's kids that need to go to school, then we're into funding issues, which should have been properly looked at in the first
That connects quite well into the road system, so I think that would be okay. Okay, item 10, receiving minutes from DNA committee recommendations.
I did send them out, I mean,
Yeah, you did.
councillors are on the DNA committee, so.
The pavilion is mentioned, would you like me to read through in the minutes? That's what I'm thinking, if you're discussing it, I'll leave, if you're not discussing it,
Just you have your final
No.
decisions made.
Receive.
Abstain, please.
Propose we accept those, then?
I'll second it. That's all I'm going to do.
For both meetings, yeah.
Are we okay with that?
I'll abstain.
One abstention.
Okay, yes,
Yes.
sorry, that's right. Item 11, we need to renew our electricity contracts. We have quite a few contracts for street lighting buildings. The problem that when you has is that when you go online or speak to someone, you get a quote, quote's only valid for 12 hours, 24 hours, so you can't come back here to get approval. So this item is to give authority to get a good deal and accept it. Which seems sensible.
Yeah, I will report back to what I done, but just, I mean, I think you know me by now that I try and save the council as much
Yes.
money as I can.
Keep finding
I'm
bits
busy,
of it.
so yeah.
Squirreled away, yeah.
Christmas lights is an extra example of the project, isn't it?
Yes, I'm sorting that out.
I've
That's
read.
what LED will reduce the cost.
So would someone like to propose that?
I'll propose it.
All in favour? Okay. Item 12, one of the swinging trackside has got a crack in the frame,
Oh,
so
I've got, yeah.
obviously we've taken the swing off so it can't be used. So just need to agree to scrap that and.
I have got Yeah, I have got a vote for that, and it was like, it was, I was going to find it was quite reasonable, I think, to put right into it in my delegate authority to,
Yeah.
or to remove it, because, I'd have to get somebody to remove it and take it away.
Well, let's get it removed first.
The swings have been taken off.
You don't want
It's
to
just
be
a
swinging on it like a monkey, do you?
Do we have any money left in our equipment budget this year that we've got on?
We have, because we've got we put 10,000 in, and then we put,
£21,000 in the vote.
so. But the only thing is, that's in the middle of where the nice stuff is. Do we want to add something nearer to where the new playground equipment is? Because it was right in the middle where it was, and it was very old fashioned.
Replace it with a better.
Put it nearer the new stuff that's next.
If we're looking at replacing the swing, could we look to see how much additional it would cost to have like a fully accessible one
Yes.
for children
Yeah.
with mobility issues, please?
And I'll take it to, do you want me to take it to DNA and I get prices, yeah?
I'm just thinking as equipment's breaking, to be more fully inclusive for
Yes.
everybody, we can.
There is a
replace
swing
that
in the
with-
new part, but I'll have a look and see.
So if we can agree here to remove them off, scrap the one we've got, and then we can agree to the quote for the new one, which is committee.
Yeah. Or another piece.
I'll propose that then. Someone like to second that? All in favour?
Just make sure the public is informed that it will be replaced.
Item 11 is to agree events for next year. Which is, once we've agreed what they are, then they can be costed and put in the budget, so we need to agree what we want to do next year at this stage. In the pack,
So I found a quote for the movement, I think it's 1,270, to provide plant labour and towers, cut and remove red twin frames, break out all concrete slab bases and dispose the tip to fill lower soil and drain to match existing levels.
Which is good, which means we can move it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So in the pack there, the states for concrete cells and Sunday markets, so they're fairly straightforward. There's also a proposal for combining Sunday market and concrete cells, which I've been interested in, so will you allow me to speak on that dispensation for speaking, or you can just discuss it yourselves?
I think if everyone else agrees, we can speak on.
Yeah.
So there's a suggestion that obviously the concrete cell attracts a very big audience, so there was a suggestion that in the summer the Sunday market could be on the same days and be held on the park rather than the marketplace, which makes sense in some ways, but I think concrete customers are looking for bargains, whereas the farmers market is a more expensive things, it's a different audience. But in the marketplace, the stores get a lot of trade from people walking through the marketplace rather than going to there. And the other aspect that store holders I spoke to said, if it was a dampish day and the
Yeah, I was
market's
gonna
so
say, wait,
expensive, the market would be sort of stranded in the corner of the timber.
So the car boot currently goes from 9 till 12/1ish. I'm sorry, I'm not aware of the farmers markets. Right, so there would be kind of a staggered.
Yes, but I guess with the car route, all tails off later on, I don't know.
I was just thinking, so it's not both at the same time, because then people might feel split as well, or if they're leaving the car boot and you're already finishing.
No, I think
Yeah,
there's
it's
a
a nice-
good stagger.
Yeah.
Can we consult with all the usual traders to get their opinions before we make any decision?
What, to move the Sunday markets at the same time as the same day as the car boot?
Yeah, well, and
Yeah.
whether relocating it.
Yeah.
At least
Yeah, I
in
think
summer.
we talked to them and.
Yeah, well, I did speak to some last Sunday, and they were generally very keen.
This country, the weather is too unpredictable to move farmers market onto soft ground. And it's a different demographic.
I
think
it's just
two different types of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just.
Is it
think
worth
we need to
moving the
keep
market to the same time as the car boot sale? Or is it
Again,
better to keep it
London
separate?
said there's two different audiences.
Yeah.
I think they're staggered anyhow. One starts at
Yeah.
9 and finishes at 1, and the other starts at 10 and finishes at 2. You've got.
There is.
So to just leave it as it is.
Yeah.
But I think we will try and promote it a lot more, maybe have like a vintage market attached to it, or an artisan, or something extra.
Vintage crafts.
Crafts, yeah, I think we will go like
Yeah, I think
farmers
we could
market
do
just was local people who make things, but I think what we will try and do is expand, try and go out to a wider audience.
It is advertised as food and craft now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than farmers. And I know a lot of the local businesses have been trying to open the past few times.
Yeah, as
As
well.
well.
Yeah.
And I
mean,
think
we did
that will help things.
We did have 2 new stall holders come up on Thursday and Friday, wasn't it? You said that they would come back again, didn't they?
That's
Yeah,
good.
Sunday,
That's quite
yeah.
well. For Sunday. Okay, we'll leave it as it is.
Yeah. Okay, so for the bigger events next year, there's the Easter egg hunt, which
You've already agreed.
which we're taking over from Northwood Play yard sale.
It's more timings.
So the other events is mini music event, trackside event, Halloween and Christmas market.
Well, we talked about Christmas market for next year, but if the North Horsham Business Association are doing a Christmas market this year, if that works well, then we could work with them for the following year and work together in doing that.
We are flexible, because we want to support, don't we, rather than compete.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we put that in to your meetings. And so if I put ahead, will work with your group with regards to that. Because we can do the posters for you and help you so much, you know, we've got facilities.
So the obviously you'll need to develop ideas and budgets for the.
I just want to go through the events.
Oh, okay.
Look through the events.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, Wendy. At the very top, it says about car boots last Sunday of every month apart from August.
We're going to change, but it's not, it's the second Sunday.
Yeah, I was just going to say that wording because it's,
So keep them to the second Sunday in the month. August will be the first.
Yeah.
And we did ask if we could go into October, I think. We'd
Yeah,
like
I
to do
think
an
so.
October one,
I think so. In October can be nice weather.
but we can cancel it if it's raining. Okay.
Well, you do what most of them, Stalin is runs, and they all put it onto Facebook, and if the weather is going to be particularly stormy or inclement, they just cancel, and if it's all over Facebook, so
It's better,
everybody
it's better
knows.
to have the dates and then cancel it.
Yeah,
We did get asked a lot at the last, why don't we do one in October?
yeah, it's only one day, it's one day, if it gets a huge storm, we can always.
I do think it's a really good idea because I was up there with the last one. It was so busy. It was brilliant. The feedback from people was amazing. The park's drainage is horrendous. So, like, even though we've had no rain recently, you need welly boots on up there. That's my only concern. It's not if we get a lot of rain, it's boggy. It's always boggy because it's not
Well,
dry.
we can take that decision,
Yeah.
can't we, like the 1st of October, at the end of
Yeah.
September, and if we think no, then we'll just say no, you can't.
I think it's a brilliant idea. I'm not putting it down at all. I'm just.
But the car boots are getting really busy, they are getting good.
But those dates were reasonable to me.
Did you everybody want to ask about the Halloween thing?
Yeah, I quite like the idea of that.
Yeah. We'll do a little, we'll probably do it in the Black Swan or something, little kids.
It's very much in the fashion.
And then go into, and then that'll stop, I think it might stop the trick or treating on there because we're
Doubt it.
doing something in town.
I doubt it.
You can have.
You
But
can
we
have,
can have,
our grandchildren, Chair, are coming back early from their holidays, so they are home, so they can do trick or treat. It's a major event.
this
I
is
mean-
October 26th, isn't it?
No, I know, but this
Ask the
is,
American employees.
oh, just unbelievable. Gone are the days of hollowing out a swede or a turnip.
So we're not going to do a street feast as such, we're doing a music festival because I think,
There'll be food there.
yeah, there will be, so, yeah.
Well,
So,
I have seen on Facebook on the North Walsham notice boards, somebody has set up a trick or treat North Walsham, I believe, and it's Claire might know a bit more information.
no, so we'll put that to.
I haven't dreamt it, I promise.
no, I saw that.
But it's somebody who's kind of going, if you want to be trick or treated,
But yourself,
yeah,
put
you
you on this map.
yeah, it doesn't cost or pretend, but you can put yourself on the map and they're saying if the house has not got decorations up, do not trick or treat. Vulnerable families, you don't know what individual lives are like. I just thought it was something really good. Maybe as a council, we could maybe plug it a bit. Maybe.
I think coming from a town where it is huge in the town.
Pumpkin, you
If you have a pumpkin and decorations, you can go and knock.
Yeah,
If there's nothing, you don't.
yeah. Well, that's how I was brought up. But I'm just thinking this way it's kind of refreshing, but also there's maps of the town available with houses that have actually put their address in to say I am happy to be trick or treated.
I think we could share that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. But it's just that we wanted to get the dates in so we can start booking stuff.
I
Because
think
I
it's a really
think
good idea.
Jasmine had problems last time about getting things because events were agreed too late. So even though we haven't got a budget, we roughly know what things would cost and then we can start getting things booked in.
They're in the
Things
realm.
cost more when there's no choice as well.
So we need to agree those dates, so suppose we agree the dates proposed.
Yeah, I think it's second one. Wendy, could you circle these dates into a separate email?
Yes, I will. It's the second page.
Please, because otherwise I'll lose it.
Right, item 14, we'll talk about the grant
Yeah, so I've got the five, well, I haven't got the 5,000. The first one, the Love Your Market, will be okay. I did put a poll out on Facebook,
Yes, you did.
and I think that the ones that was liked was the things that go on street lights. But I've just got to find out implications of that. But I am starting down the bottom of the town, whether I start in Munsley Road and Market Street, because that's not where it gets decorated. And then obviously some of the money can go into the precinct as well, because I think they get forgotten about down that end. I did have a bit of running with a certain person. So
What's the items about the website anyway?
oh yes, right, that one is agreed. The other one for the website is you just need to confirm that I get 75% funding has been agreed, which is 9,000, whatever it was, 280. We have to put 25% towards it. The cost of the guy I want, the company I'd like to do is 14,750, so we'd have to pay the difference. That 14,750 includes VAT, so that works out about 11,000, I think. Right. But you agreed the ongoing costs, so that the town council will look after there with the ongoing
What
costs.
sort of cost would that be?
I've just been looking after the website. They're going to give us training on it, so it'll just be updating the
That's
website
good.
like we do our own.
So we're looking opposite time plus the annual registration.
Yes,
fee,
yes, yes.
We've got to move forward, social
Oh, yes,
media,
we
we have got to move forward.
And yeah, we'll have social media as well. The other council didn't like us having TikTok, but I think we should think about having a little TikTok. I mean, we can have a TikTok thing, and we can have a skate park, you could have had a TikTok.
No, I don't do TikTok.
I don't do
I
that.
do TikTok.
social media anymore.
You did TikTok? But anyway, that would be something I'll come back to later.
Perhaps that's for a future agenda.
When we get to that.
Anyway, the proposal is here to, that we agree to bear the cost of ongoing maintenance of this website in the future. Do you want that to that?
Yeah.
All in favour?
Yeah.
We just need to have it as a minuted item for the funds.
Yeah.
Before they release the money.
And then we have to pay for it, and then we'll get the money back. You propose to do it, sorry?
Item 15, to agree with single trans child procedure.
I'd like to defer that, because I've had a vet policy, so we can defer that.
I did-
I nearly sank in trying to read and comprehend it. I know how important it is.
I did have 2 comments on it.
I'll defer it, please.
Okay.
It's not up to the standard that I would, it's not correct.
Yeah, well, better.
If you want to defer, that's fine, and then-
It was done when I was on holiday, so I have found a vet.
Did you want me to say
Yeah,
that?
you could do.
Okay, so it's just that you had said about a child safeguarding lead. Is a staff member going to undertake training for that? Where are they going to source that training? And are they going to make sure it's updated every 2 years now?
I have got
Yep.
something. else
And
to
it
go.
says about immediately communicating each other. I've helped at 2 or 3 events now. There has been no way of communicating each other immediately in an emergency. So does that mean the risk
Just have
assessment?
radio
Yes.
and things.
Yeah, other policies are going to be updated to fall in line with using
Yeah.
walkie-talkies.
Yes, but I have got a better policy and things.
Sorry.
So maybe use another policy.
Item 16, it's the time of year for putting proposals in parish partnership scheme for minor schemes, sort of highway footpath schemes. I'm not sure that we've identified any so far this year.
Well, we can't use it for
King George.
King's Arms Street, because it's too much. I think there was a suggestion that you put the zebra crossing down on Norwich Road somewhere,
Yeah, there was.
wasn't there at one
Yes.
point?
Yes.
I don't know.
Is this the zebra or pelican? It's the zebra.
I don't know whatever it is, but for the new builds down that end, and especially if there's more new builds, then they can cross over the road.
Well, the pelicans are cool when you press the
Get to
button.
Millfield School,
Whereas
wasn't it?
zebra is a giveaway one.
Get to
The
Millfield
zebra
School.
one's more expensive.
Yeah, they're quite expensive, but what's the with parish
well, 50%, isn't it? They will fund that.
I seem to recall, Chair, that the cost for the over by the high school was somehow, I think it was 35,000, I don't know, a hand on it at me.
And the last one I did was, the cost was 60,000.
Yeah, I did one but last year on
very
an A
expensive.
road, and it was, I'm afraid it was over 100,000.
Yeah.
So if you give me to
Well, I've never seen a separate cost of being done in Paris Branch.
no,
I think it's two
Yeah.
it's a county council.
Do you want, there was something about the flood down the Yarmouth Road that didn't need to let the. Lucy is getting me a SAM 3, just got put in for it out of her highways budget. Using a SAM 3 instead of a SAM 2. What, we were going to, we do have a bus shelter waiting, don't we? So whether we use it for the bus shelter,
Well, we're looking to put that in our
no,
road.
we haven't done any further with that.
It's not on for Justin, the licence.
Yeah,
Well, yes,
but you could use it for half of that.
well, that's probably the best use, sensible use.
That's a sensible amount of money rather than going down the crossing thing. It's just a ridiculous amount of money.
Well, if you could contact highways about a licence for that and put that in as a
Yeah, that's part of it.
partnership.
Well, the only other thing I've seen it being used for in quite a number of villages is that they have a sort of gate thing as you enter the village,
Yeah,
with a speed limit.
gates. But we do have something, don't we?
Yeah.
On Norwich Road, we think.
Not the welcome to a portion signs, and we,
But we have a welcome sign, but I think,
Gates.
and all of those, as I understand it, come through Paris Branch.
Yeah.
So, they're not going to be able to do that on every road coming into the portion, but on the major roads. you would say-
Norwich Road and Cromer Road are the two that people
Norwich Road and
come
Cromer
into the
Road.
30 mile an hour.
Yeah.
But if we're moving, sorry, Chair, if we're moving there's been talked about the graveyard,
Yes,
we want to hang back about doing anything on Crow
well,
Road
that's true, yes.
until that's sorted.
Well, we could try and get one for Norwich Road, Norwich Road, past the Watertown.
Of course, as you come into town from that point, you're immediately meeting parked cars all over the road.
Yes, you are.
It slowed down.
Best
20
traffic
anyway.
calming measures, all that.
Just want to do bus shelter, did you?
Trying to push it.
Well, we
Yeah,
need to do that.
Push
Yeah,
out,
that's the most needed.
yeah, just easiest one to do.
Yeah.
If he's getting edgy about that, then we'll have to look at the other one.
All in favour?
Who seconded it?
I think, would like to close it?
Doesn't matter.
Right, we're asked to make or consider giving donations to the holiday activities and food programme. Is that something that we could, it's obviously a good cause to help kids during holiday.
Of course, that's rightly common within the town as well, that's the knock-on.
So that would
So
come out
it says
of
to
that.
give free lunches for the North Norfolk holiday prisoners. I mean, if you had a recycling one, you could use that money for this. Small things.
Oh, yeah.
Might I suggest here for this year, we invite them to apply for a grant.
Yeah.
Here, here.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's coming
good
out of
idea.
grant fund anyway.
Steep things.
So you can put that down as their different.
Item 18, the air cadets last for our support in having an extra grade from the park to the church. Not quite sure what support they want from us.
They're happy, yeah, they've got an objection, that's all.
They didn't want us to ask.
And themselves, I think.
Okay, so
They've got a low pollution or a rolling low pollution fees, so they just want to make us.
Wheels.
well, that was just to receive, and to bring, so.
Yeah. Those right. Second.
All in favour? Have you got to apply to the cadets? say we
Amy saw me, so I said send me an email.
haven't got a mayor's yet, we did it last year.
No. But I said about the mayor's cadet and they said,
Okay. Item 19, to agree on risk assessment for Bluebell Pond.
The reason why this has come up was I saw that they were doing
Yeah.
alarm bells.
Well, it's done, Wendy.
Well, I know, I wasn't here, but I did some jokes.
Oh,
But
well, there's no floating bodies in the pond.
no, so the pond is ours and they have a licence to look after the breeding, but it expired in 2023, so I've got to make sure that the licence is renewed again for another 10 years. When I saw it and there was volunteers, I'm thinking, oh, we've got pond risk assessment. And I emailed them and said, where's your pond risk assessment? Because I had alarms ringing my So I had, thank you, nothing like that, so I spoke to Roger.
There's a lot of people down there doing it.
I know. I
Lots
spoke
of
to-
passion to it.
Well, I didn't want to discourage, I didn't want to stop it and think, oh, right. So I quickly put a risk assessment together and I went with Roger and he helped me as well. In fact, Roger put this together. And I then sent it to him and I said, the council doesn't take any liability if anybody falls in, you're doing it on your own risk. So I sent an email because I didn't want it to be online.
Well, I think we'll agree, shall we? to
Yeah.
adopt it?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
So proposed by, oh, well, yeah.
yeah, I'll be very,
And
very
seconded
close
by,
to it.
All in favour of that?
so yeah, so at least we've got one now.
So the good thing is, because there's so many people, there's someone who's in.
Well, they do have a life room down there.
Yes, we had to put that in, but his children, and I was just a bit concerned that it was all about the same thing.
That's all right, that's some goes on.
Item 20,
I might send them an email and thank them very much.
That
because
would
they
be-
I think that'd be really
That'd
nice.
be brilliant.
What about sneaky Facebook posts?
On behalf of
What
all,
about sneaky Facebook posts?
Well, actually, it was.
Oh,
very
shall I do a
nice.
Facebook post and
You
thank
could
them?
do, yeah, Facebook post, yeah. It shows us proactive as can.
Because we do it in our watching room, so.
Yeah. That'd be lovely.
item 20, neighbourhood plan.
oh, time to go under the table, Chair.
It should, do you think you should wait until the local plan comes out before we do something a bit late, aren't we?
We're very late.
We are very late if we haven't got one.
Most of what's going to happen to the town has already been agreed.
And there's no money in either now because that's been pulled, so there was 10,000, but that's been pulled.
And we would need a consultant to help us with it, so that's just like.
And we don't have sales, so we don't get 25%.
Can I propose, Chair, that we actually we postpone this discussion until we have the local plan?
So in the
I think that would make sense.
any neighbourhood plan we did would be more informed than the strategic plan.
It would.
Which is not far away, actually, it's really finished this one.
The local plan in detail, all the conservation and everything else, covers most of what we want in the town centre.
It might have to
So
change.
when does this,
When-
the current plan, does that go to 2030?
No, the new plan will run to 2040,
Okay.
because it's running effectively 5 years late, because it's over various other government delays.
So really, it's
There's been
almost something
roll-
to do.
It's going to cost us an awful lot of money if we,
Yeah,
if we,
might not need it.
and we might not.
Probably
be-
something once during 10 years' time, it might be time to do it, start influencing the next one.
Yes, we
It's
can
a bit closing the stable door after the horses bolted.
we work will start on the next one. Theoretically, as soon as this one's finished, but in practice it probably won't, because it will fall to whatever authority takes over.
Yes.
Well, until we've got devolution, we don't know. do we?
So every
So it might be responsible request then, Bob, to say that we will review the necessity of it on an annual basis. So we are not
Yes, that's
actually
a sensible solution.
say we're not doing it, but we'll watch the seriousness of how it moves.
Yes.
And all the,
In favour of that? Yeah. Okay. Nearly there. Items for next agenda. Obviously, you've got
Inclusion
some-
policies,
Yes,
right.
anything else?
yeah, well, there's never been this.
Yeah.
Well, that's the budget, draft.
Well, it's just moving forward on this this devolution.
Yes.
I mean, that's a real big one for us to do anyway.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I'll tell you how I got on with the matches, so I'll do that.
It always helps if you feed people or give something to drink in some way, doesn't it, to attract people? I'm quite happy to volunteer to help you on that. When we get it.
Next meeting dates, we've got there for finance on the 4th of November, DNA on the 18th.
Yeah.
Next meeting on the 25th of November.
So if it's October, we haven't got to October yet, have we?
That's true, yes.
So 25th of October. Yeah.
Must be, so
I must miss that.
Training on the 30th, which is a Thursday.
Okay, thank you for coming on. Hope it's exciting.
28th of October,
If
sorry.
it's exciting.
It was, I haven't been for a long time.
It's nice to see you.
I will leave the folder.
Yeah, I'll take that upstairs.
Wendy, that's all right.
Yeah, well,
That's really nicely presented.
It's really well put together.
Yeah, it's, also, because when we go for grants, that's as well our reference folder.
Yeah.
Who's supporting us, it's transparent.
100%.
But thank you.
Have you registered as a charity yet?
We're still going through stuff at the moment, I'll catch up with you later about it.
takes a long time from personal experience.
Yeah,
Don't have to do it on the charity commission because they're below 5,000 or whatever.
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's a non-profit organisation or something, it's,
Yeah.
but, yeah. Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. It's been 5 minutes.
Okay.
All the technology was done.
Microphone,
Yeah, I'll come to that then.
Oh, it's a certificate, be proud.
When Juliet went to their Euros for a holiday, we wanted some ID, and all she got was her gym card, and we would accept that.
I'll do anything.
Tried to promise me, tried to promise me,
There you go.